Today I'm going to show you some of the Presscuts multi-layer dies back in stock, which is brilliant news, and in particular this one, which is the diamond multi-layer die set. So there's 3 actual dies in the multi-layer die set, and you can use them either together or singularly, and they give different effects depending on which ones you're going to use together, on their own, which colour combination, and all sorts. So I'm going to show you how I've used them today, and I'm also incorporating some other items that you might find of interest. So here are the die sets, and I've also already taken the opportunity of cutting some of them out. So the top die set, which is the one that's going to be the one that you see on the top and the thinnest, if you look at the edges there, you'll see that that's going to be the thinnest. I've cut a square and a square piece of card, and that is cut at 6 inches all the way around, so a square 6x6. They do actually come with an outer square die so that you can make a definite square, but that's the beauty of them as well, that they can be any size so that you can make them bigger to fit whichever size you like, with a bigger border and that sort of thing. So I've taken that one, 6x6, and I've cut that out in black this time. So that simply goes on there, cuts that out with a border at 6 inches square. Then I've taken the next one, which is this one, gives you a slightly wider border, and I've cut that one out of white card. And I have measured it before, and I've put that one at 5.5 inches square. I'm going to be using the black one to cover, so it can be a bit smaller, it's not a problem. And then finally, I've taken my smallest one, and this one has got a lot more pattern on it as well. So again, all of them ideal for individual or as a set. And this one I've cut out of a red colour. So I've cut the same size, 5.5 inches square, and cut that out of red. So now we're going to put those all together. Take the dies apart for a minute. Be needing them later. And I'm going to assemble. So this is our top layer, the black layer, and that's going to go on top of the white layer, and then that's going to go on top of the red layer, like that. Now, because it's quite intricate, in order to cut it out, I'm going to use some of the sticky sheets, which are the tiny little dots of adhesive. And I find that when I want this to be all easy to do, that's probably the less messy way of doing it. So I'm first of all going to take my white piece, and I simply put that onto the sheet, just gently rub over that so that wherever there is card, it will pick up the tiny dots of adhesive, and that has now all got glue on. And we're going to stick that one directly onto my red piece, like that. And then I'm going to turn it upside down, and because I want it on the front of my white piece here. And I'm just putting that on there and getting glue onto the white piece. And I'm going to stick my black piece on top of that. Just lining that up like that. And I've just noticed before I press it down that I haven't taken the last little dot of black out there, which I do want to do. And that's your squares, diamonds I should say, all set up. So then I've cut a piece of a darker, slightly darker red colour, not the same colour red as I had there, just fractionally darker. And I've cut that piece 6.5 by 6.5. And then so when I put that bit on there, that's going to be a little border all the way round. But I want that to sit up a little bit. So before I actually stick it on, I could stick it straight down, but I don't want to. So I'm just going to put a little bit of foam tape all the way round, trying to make sure that I've not got the tape onto anywhere where the actual holes of the pattern are coming through, because obviously that will show. And do that all the way around, and then that's going to bring up the whole of the pattern so that you'll be able to see it a bit more, and it gives a bit of a shadow, which I quite like, onto the card. But as I said, if you try different colour combinations, even if you use the same colours but put them in a different position, they would really look lovely too. So just going to position that over the top of my card, leaving the little border all the way around like that. And then I've got a 7x7 card blank. I say 7x7, when I measured it, it actually wasn't quite 7x7. So I would suggest that before you start measuring all your bits, that you do just double check that the card that you're putting it onto is the size that you think it is, because this one was nearer to sort of 6 3/4. So I would suggest that you do just double check that. So I put a bit of Craft Artist glue on the back of that, and then just popping that into position there. So that's my main card done. So as you can see, it gets really simple results really quickly, and depending on whatever colour that you want to put with it, it's quite a dramatic effect. So just to finish it off, I'm going to make some flowers. And I'm going to be using the new Blossom flowers and dies from John Next Door. And first of all, I'm going to be using the stamps. So I've got my stamping platform. I've already got my stamp attached to it. And I'm going to be using the same dark red colour that was on the base of the card. I'm using VersaFine Clair in Nocturne. It is a fine pigment ink, so it will stay tackier for a bit longer. Therefore, you could actually put it clear embossing powder on it if you wanted a shiny effect. But it does give a fine texture to the very fine detail of the stamp here as well. So I prefer it because it's a really tacky ink, and if you're trying to get more of a solid shape, so say a silhouette or something, I find that that works really well. Now the paper, the card that I'm actually stamping on has a little bit of a texture, so I might have to stamp a couple of times. So I'm just popping that over, pressing down. I just tend to press down on all of the little flowers individually so that I can be sure. And there's 11 in this set, so there's loads to choose from, and I'm only going to be using 3, so you know, there's plenty there. So I'm quite happy with that actually. So I should put that stamping platform to one side, and then I'm going to bring in the die for it. And the die is the John Next Door painted almost die here, where it's got the corners cut off. And that really coincides with the corner little markers here from the stamp set, so that you'll be able to see where it lines up. So we just need to put that into position. So you can see that if I line up these 2 corners and up here, that I can be sure that I'm going to get the stamps cut out with no realignment or anything, just ordinary cut out there. So I'm just going to pop that through my die cutting machine. Talk amongst yourselves moment that was. So okay, cut that out. Oh, they're already popping out, but they come out really simply because it's not a very intricate pattern, so you could just push these out with your fingers, in all honesty. Okay, so all of them popped out, and as I said, because you've got 11, you are going to have quite a few left over here, because I'm just going to take the 3 biggest ones, but you've got loads there to play with at a later date if you wish. So then I'm just going to do a little bit of moulding. Now excuse my broken machine, I rolled my chair over the top of that a few days ago, so I have ordered another one, but it's not here as yet. But it still works that end. And I really like, because I'm using this to mould the flowers, I really like a large ball tall end there. So all I'm doing is just using my yellow mat so that it's nice and firm, and just going round in a circle, pressing down very hard, and just breaking the fibres really, so that it moulds a little bit. Then I'm turning it over and I'm pressing down again very hard into the centre. So that's one. I'm doing exactly the same with the others, just rolling that onto each of the petals and into the centre again, and then finally this one. Now all the things that I'm going to use today are all on the website maximumcrafts.com. The press cut dies this weekend, which will be January the 12th, are on a special offer, but there are the other dies available if you wish to purchase them. So I'm just going to turn my glue gun on, we hope. Yeah, just going to turn the glue gun on because I find that's the quickest way to show you how to finish the card off. So I've also taken some red ribbon and I've just rolled that round a few times to give me a little bit of volume really. Just a very thin bit of red ribbon, and I'm going to pop that with my glue gun. I'm just going to trim the edges off. And I'm just going to pop that, making sure I've got the right corner. Yeah. How many times have we done that? I'm just going to put a bit of glue onto the back of it. And just pop that in the corner. And that gives me the chance to just open out some of the loops so that it's a bit wider. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto the back of the flowers. And pop them into position. So you could use any flowers, you could use any patterns here that you like, but it just gives a little emphasis here. Obviously you could put some sentiments on, whatever you fancied, some different embellishments, a few more of the little flowers maybe. Oh, I could get carried away now. I think I quite like that one as well. So let's go for another little one there. But it doesn't really matter what size, just same thing, do it from the back, and a little bit of glue there. Oh, it's the trouble with the stringy glue. And just pop that one under there. Okay, so as I said, quick card for you today, but really showing you the elements of the press cut multi-layer dies, the diamond one of which is now back in stock. Also got a little bit of the brand new blossom flowers with the matching stamps. Quick checkup of how they're all done, and follow me over onto the maximumcrafts.com website to be able to get all the bits and pieces that you like. Okay, thank you for watching.